Woo! Can't get it open. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Welcome to Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. My name is Tom. I'm a fantasy sports addict. And today I'm here to show you guys how to approve keepers and edit your draft order for your keeper leagues and dynasty leagues on Yahoo Fantasy Sports. And to do that, I am going to show you the FSAA 2017 incarnation of our Dynasty Baseball League. All keeper leagues and dynasty leagues, kind of tend to have different settings, different number of players capped, all that sort of stuff. Your league will vary from ours. But what I'm going to show you today is just basically right before we draft this afternoon. We'll be going live in a few hours. This is the FSAA Dynasty Baseball League. And here we go. If I can share my screen with you, hopefully you can all see this. And here we are, FSAA Dynasty Baseball on Yahoo Fantasy. And what we're going to do here is everybody has selected their keepers. In our case, it's a 12-team league. It's 20 keepers per team. There's been some preseason trades. We'll come back to that in a little bit. That's something you're going to keep track of possibly in your own league if you do traded draft picks for dynasty purposes. I don't know how you do your preseason trades. We usually keep track of stuff on a spreadsheet and in the message board. So I always have to double check the message board. We'll come back to that. So after this point, you set your keeper deadline for your keeper league or your dynasty league. And, the deadline's passed, and now it's time to go approve keepers. Now, you can click these links right here, the approve keepers or edit draft order and assign keepers. I had some trouble earlier when I was setting up the first of our dynasty leagues, and it seems like there's a little problem with Yahoo this year, so I'm going to show you the way I did this. I go to Commissioner, and you go to your Commissioner tools. On your Commissioner tab here, it takes you to the Commissioner tools. We're going to scroll all the way down to right here where it says edit keeper settings. So it wants you to finalize the league's team list before approving keepers. Okay, seems simple enough, right? No big deal. All right, let's click it. Okay, finalize teams. Okay, finalize teams. There we go. We finalized our teams. All right, well, don't click that. You don't want to unlock your teams at this point. You've locked your teams. That means everybody who's in your league is here to stay, and they can't get out and all that. So your league's set. This is it now. Now you're going to hit continue to confirm keepers. Uh-oh. What's this? Confirm unlock teams. You were about to unlock your final team list. Any draft order and draft pick customizations will be deleted. Wait a minute. No. Whoa. No, do not click this. Don't click unlock teams. Say, no, thank you. I'm canceling. We're not doing that. So do not unlock your teams. You're now going to backtrack, okay? You're going back to your Commissioner tab. And you're going back to edit keeper settings. Here you are. Okay, and again, that was under keeper management. Maybe I should have scrolled a little slower. I'll go back for you guys. Okay, so again, this is the Commissioner tab. Scroll down, you got league management, all the stuff where you're going to edit your league settings, but you're not doing that right now. Keep going down a little bit. Team management, keeper management. Okay, edit keeper settings. Perfect. Now you can review and approve manager selections. This is where you're getting down to deciding who is approved, right? You get to... Okay, here we go. Here's everybody's keepers. And in our case, like I said, everybody keeps 20 players. We drop, we've got 3 NA, 3 DL. So it's anywhere between 6 and, 12 players. You can only keep 20. So in your case, if you haven't double checked every manager in your league, you're going to want to do that. I've already done that to spare you the indignity of me counting like 1, 2, 3, 4 on every single team. But it's that painstaking, and you really do need to do that. You want to do that. I know it's a pain, and it is a pain. But I have pre-counted. Everyone in this league has kept exactly 20. I had to follow up. it's a miracle. If you can get everybody to set their keepers at the right time and meet the deadline and even have the right number of keepers, it's a miracle. You know, I try to be patient because, again, I want to run a good dynasty league. And again, this is a hybrid between keeper and dynasty. If it's a keeper league, you're not going to be keeping as many players. But so here we are. Everybody's kept their 20. We're just scrolling through. Now, if you've got a basketball league or hockey or football, you know, this is obviously Greek to you. It's baseball, but the same thing applies. The same thing will be in effect for what you're doing. So you just scroll down. Okay, everybody's got their. We've made sure everybody has the number of keepers they're supposed to have, whatever it is. If your league's 5, they've kept 5. If it's 20, they kept 20. So okay, approve all keepers. Wow. Okay, that was a lot of counting. All right, now we're getting to the good part. Edit draft order and assign keeper players. Okay, wow. Yay, they were successfully approved. Okay, now in a league where you have traded draft picks, like in our Dynasty League, we trade draft picks. You want to be sure to click this box, import traded draft picks from last season. Yes, sir. And this custom order and keeper league players, depending on how your league keeps the draft order, like maybe you have an anti-tanking setup. In this league, we just go reverse standings for the basic draft order. And then we have a snake draft. For our basketball leagues, we do non-snaking. That may be the type of league you have. That just depends. But for baseball, we do snaking. And so now I'm going to go to, okay. Oh, this is the other thing. I'll show you real quick. This is your keeper placement. Where are you keeping these players? Like in our case, we're going to push it to the final rounds because you always want it final rounds. Forget anything else. If you're trading draft picks, again, this is for a league where you trade draft picks. If you're trading draft picks in your league, make sure your keepers are placed at the end of the draft because otherwise, when people go to make trades for draft picks, they're going to have to trade. Like, if you keep 5, they'll be trading pick 6 through something. You know, in this case, you just want it first round through however many rounds you're going to redraft, okay? So that's why final rounds, opening rounds will be way too complicated to keep track of if you're doing draft picks. So just make sure you got final rounds for your keepers, right? Because that way it's just natural. Keeping first pick, second pick, people trade it. It's simple. You don't want to screw yourself up with something complicated. Now, okay, here we are. Now we got to set the basic draft order reverse standings. This is where I go to my league page. So what I'm going to have to do is open another tab here to double check and verify myself. Hit the league page here. Click over league standings. Here we are, reverse standings. So Bronson, as always, 12th place, he's picking first. So we'll just start with that. We're going to start with that. Okay, Bronson. Now this again is a little bit, it's probably not that fun to watch if you're watching after the fact or later at home. Just skip ahead and you'll have to do this yourself if you're doing this for your league. But so Bronson's team, Cool Papa Bells. You just keep going through like this. And I don't even know who Cool Papa Bells is. There he is. Okay, I forgot who that was. I think is it Evan or Reese? I don't know. And then me. Oh, there's me sucking. Yep, there's me. Third pick. Woo! I'm going to like that later this afternoon. And then Ryan, he sucked too. Put him in 4th pick. There you go. Okay, and then JD, he's 5th pick, right? There's JD, 5th pick. All right, Joe, he's got 6th pick, and that is Joe's team. There we go. There we go. Guan Yu. Move him to Joe's team. So it's pretty simple. It's just you got to put the work in, and like I said, it's a little tedious, a little painstaking, but it's worth it. Your managers will appreciate it in the long run. What did I miss? Okay, Guan Yu. See, I was busy talking. I missed what I was talking about. Stopa, Fantasy Aid. Okay, Stopa, Fantasy Aid. Then what we got? Solar Power, Ham Dinner, and Trevor Ending Story, of course, because James won the league. Sweet. Now we just got to double check. Let's double check. Bronson, Cool Papa Bells. Bronson, Cool Papa Bells. Me and Ryan. There we go. Me and Ryan. Then we got the 2 Well, no, we don't have the two. Yeah, is it the two Joes? Yeah, JD and Joe. Okay. All right, then we got, like I said, JD, Joe. Okay, Guan Yu and Stopa. Guan Yu and Stopa. Again, probably annoying. You're probably like, why is this so redundant? But I am anal retentive, and I like to make sure I got it right. Fantasy Aid and Solar Power. Fantasy Aid, Solar Power. Because if you get it wrong, your league's going to have a lynching. You literally can't get it wrong. So there we go. We got J Money and James. Our buddy Cubby Knoll. All right, there we go. We can move on to the next step. That wasn't too complicated, thankfully. Here we go. Next step. This is where all the players. Now, if you didn't screw anything up ahead of this point, all these players that belong on your players' teams will be imported. But if you do anything literally any differently than I just did, the players may not automatically import, and you will have to manually assign these players to each player's roster, each manager's roster, and that takes a long time. So thankfully, again, look, the grayed out players here, these are already on people's rosters. So you could hide them if you wanted to, so you don't have to look at them. And this would be like if you were doing a slow draft or a manual draft, like where the commish sets the draft, you could the commish would set your players for you in this way. But normally we'd be just about done. We'd be just about done because what it did is it imported the traded picks, and we can go look at those. I always need to double check. Again, we see that there's been some traded picks, not too many. This shows you if this is under the draft tab and then draft picks if you have a league that trades draft picks. So you go down to your draft picks, and then in our case, we do 6 rounds of draft. So the first 6 rounds here indicate any traded picks. We got a couple that are traded. It's only a few per round in the first 4 rounds. I'll keep track of that. I want to make sure I double check to make sure that there's a few. But otherwise, I trust it. I am anal retentive, like I said. I actually tend to go through manually and make sure each pick is where it belongs. But if you do preseason trades, at this point, before you just allow Yahoo to say, okay, that's the draft order, you're going to want to go back and double check the league, like the league page here. Because if you do preseason trades, the way we do them, you post them to the message board, you're going to want to go through all the messages on your message board, whatever it takes. Again, be thorough because, again, if you screw something up, it's going to be chaos. Your managers are going to hate you. But you go through all, like, again, trade agreement. Obviously, I've already done this, and there are no traded picks for this preseason. So that's good. That I don't have to worry about that in this case. The one other thing I have to worry about, though, and your leagues may or may not have this, and I'm sure they don't, because Jose Fernandez and Yordano Ventura perished tragically this year. In our dynasty leagues, we have kind of a grievance policy, a grieving owner policy, where you get a compensation pick, and you don't necessarily get. And let me talk to you for a minute here. Let me switch off the screen just so this makes more sense. You don't get to pick from the free agent pool. You get to pick among the players that are being dropped this year. So, you don't have Jose Fernandez to keep in your list anymore, but maybe somebody's going to drop somebody that you'd like instead of Jose Fernandez. So instead of one of your other keepers you'd keep to make up for Jose Fernandez in your own roster, whatever, you're getting somebody else's player, right? You're getting it's just a nice little okay. It's not common. It's not, a usual thing, but this is like a nice thing we like to do because, again, it's rare that a player dies. This doesn't happen in basketball or football or hockey, really. So kind of seems to only apply to baseball, tragically. But so just getting back to it, what I'm going to show you how to do, and this what I'm going to show you here applies not only to our comp picks, but say last minute you got somebody that wants you to accommodate, like, oh, I didn't mean to drop him, and he was supposed to be my keeper, and you know how you get all this chaos as a dynasty owner or a manager, commissioner. Oh, I didn't mean to. Or there's like a last minute trade, whatever. Some commissioners are accommodating, some are not. But if you are accommodating for these things, here's how you can go in last minute and move players around. And I'm going to show you that. Switch back over, share the screen again. This is really simple. Thankfully, we only have one manager taking a comp pick. Like I said, there would be normally 2 because we had two players that died this year. But I'm going to go through, and this is a little bit tedious. This is a little bit difficult. So what I've got to do is I've got to go through the players that are kept, and these are the last part of the draft. I have to go through and find the player that our buddy James, Cubby Knoll, he has the winning team. He lost Jose Fernandez. I have to go through and see where is the player that he's dropping. And so it's an offensive player. In baseball, it'll split them up. The first rounds are going to be pitching, and the last rounds are going to be hitting. Now, the later rounds, it won't be divided like that for basketball or anything like that, but it's going to be in descending order. So, like, these are the earlier rounds closest to the end of your actual draft. Those are going to be the lowest ranked players. So these are going to be the highest ranked players. So the player that's going to be dropped is obviously one of the lower ranked players. We're going to go look. We're going to start looking for Evan Gattis. And again, if you're watching this and you're not a baseball person and you're not really paying attention to baseball and you want to get to the end of this, you can skip ahead. But I have to now search through and find Evan Gattis. And I don't know where he would be in. Okay, so now we're in pitching. So I got to go back up, go back to 16, try to play the rankings. What did I just do here? Hope I didn't change anything. You got to be careful you don't change anything. Going back here. Going back to 16. Okay, here we go. Zobrist. All right, we got to go back a little further. 17, because we're looking at Trevor Inning Story here. Gattis. Okay, so he doesn't want Gattis. That's the guy he's going to replace for one of these players that was dropped. All right. Now, I could have shown you that. I should have shown you that when I had the keeper list, but it shows you the non-dropped players. You give them a list of non-dropped players, and they can pick from that. In this case, he's getting rid of Evan Gattis, and this could apply to anything. If you're subbing out a player before the draft for somebody, you find where the player is. Okay, you highlight him, and you hit this left arrow. It's the left arrow. Click him away to oblivion. Woo! Yeah. No more. See, he's gone. Trevor Inning Story. No player there. So what we're going to do, he wants to add, and this could be any player. In this case, it's CJ Crone for baseball. Just click it, slide down, make sure he's there. Okay, all set. Perfect. All right, so he's made his comp pick. We would normally do a Yordano Ventura comp pick here, but the manager who had Yordano Ventura elected not to, and we had no preseason trades affecting the draft. So what I'm going to do is recommend that you go through and, again, be anal retentive, go back to your draft picks. Okay, so Bronson's got 2 picks in the first round, and Cool Pop has got 2 first picks. So we're going to go back. All right, let's see. 2. There's a Cool Papa. There's a Bronson. And there's a Cool Papa, and there's Bronson. All right, simple as that. Cool. They got 2 picks. They got their picks. They're in the right place. Let's double check. Okay, second round. Bronson's got 2, and that's it. Let's double check. Bronson, you got your 2 picks. Bronson's got his 2 picks. Okay, third round, same thing. So on and so forth. You get the idea. Just double check. Okay, Solar, Trevor Inning. There's Solar. He's got his 2. And there's Trevor Inning. He's got his 2. There we go. And fourth round was the last round where we had any traded picks. So let's look. We got 2 for Trevor Inning Story. Again, a very clever name for Trevor Story. And there we go. Trevor Inning Story. Bam, everybody's got their picks. Everything looks good. Now that you've been very thorough and you've double-checked everything, you are ready to finalize the keepers and finalize your draft order and all the draft picks. Okay, the other thing that Yahoo gives you, let me just clarify this. This is your savior here. This tells you if you screwed anything up. Okay, it'll highlight yellow. It'll be like, uh-oh. So as long as you're like, all right, you got your total keepers and your total draft slots. So that should always line up. However many rounds of draft you're doing in a keeper or dynasty will be represented here. And then the total number of kept players is represented here. As long as they all line up and there's no red or like yellow or chaos, and it's all black and it looks nice and clean like that, you're good to go. You hit that submit button. Bam. Bam. You're good to go. All right. League's ready to draft, man. We got this draft coming up in a couple hours. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Somebody might need to do something last minute. How do you get back in? Like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't drop that guy, did I? I didn't drop A.J. Reed, as Bronson said. what do? You go back to your commissioner tools, right? Okay, let's see. What do I do? All right, you go to edit draft order and assign keeper players, okay? So now you can go back to your draft thing. Everything's exactly the way it was, right? The way you left it. But now you can go in if you have to sub out a player or a pick. I mean, again, people may still trade draft picks. You never know. Things happen. And you just save your progress and hit submit, and you're done. But in this case, I didn't do anything, so I'm done. And there we go. We got our draft ready to rock in 3 hours. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this draft. I'm always excited for our dynasty leagues. Hopefully you guys enjoy your keeper leagues and dynasty leagues. Hopefully this was helpful. If you found it to be a useful tutorial, please let us know. Hit the comments section down below. Thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel or come to our website, fantasysportsaddicts.com. Once again, I am Tom from Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. I'll leave you with the Fantasy Sports Serenity Prayer, which is Santan Moon Juice. Oh, yeah. Fantasy gods, please grant me the serenity to set my ideal lineup, courage to add drop aggressively, and the wisdom, as always, to make good trades. Amen. Hope you guys have a great draft season. Good luck with your dynasty, your keeper leagues, any sport they may be. If you have questions, hit us up. Let us know. Thank you.